So you're trying to start your own. What would you call that? I mean,
That's the problem,
it's not
right?
a podcast.
Yeah.
So what would we call that?
I just want. I guess the goal at the core is just to help people, and I consider myself a pretty intuitive person, and I think I'm pretty good at talking to people and listening to people and being able to help them with whatever it is that they're dealing with. So I just want to be able to put together some type of like safe space, I guess, for people to be able to express themselves and just be able to listen to people and just be able to help people with whatever it is that they need help with or whatever they're dealing with or struggling with.
So would you say, because you think about people like, Iyama, Fix My Life, and things like that, would you say that yours would be coming from a different perspective, like your advice, or would it be the same type of advice?
Because the thing is, I don't want to come off as like a guru or even like a life coach or anything like that. Like, I just simply, I want people to follow their heart.
Got it.
Like, that's all I want people to do. And if you just ask people questions, if you ask them enough questions, they'll be able to point themselves in that direction.
Exactly.
Like, if you just talk to yourself, you can get your own answers. Like, that's what I want people to kind of know. They can be their own guru. Like, they can be their own life coach if they really. I mean, you need assistance and you need help.
Right.
Like, if you need therapy and all that, like, please do that, because like, I'm not a therapist.
Right.
But I just want to create a space where people can actually just listen to themselves talk and hear themselves and confront the things that are going on inside of them. And because it's just amazing how we fight for everything but what it is that we actually want.
Right.
We were fighting for what we think we want, not what it is we actually want. Because for some whatever reason, we don't, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's we don't feel deserving of what it is we truly want, or if we just don't see the benefit of it, or society, I think, has a lot to do with it. Like, we just want the picture perfect looking life.
Right.
And sometimes the life that we want, maybe we fear people won't understand it, people won't get it, So I think, like, that's my ultimate goal, is just to have people go in the direction that feels good. Like, follow your heart, what brings you joy,
right,
what makes you smile, like.
Okay. So this is not like you said, this isn't a therapy session. You're having these issues in your relationship type of thing. This is, should I still be with this person or not? Like, or this is, should I take this job or that job? Or should,
I just want to give people the courage to
right,
step out on what it is that they want to do. And know that it's going to be okay. And know that your mind can only picture what it already knows. So that's why you stay where you are.
Right.
So when you think about something new, it's your brain literally can't process it. And that's the scary part, because like, we want to embark on something new, or we do want to follow our heart and pursue whatever it is, like our passion, whatever. It's scary because we don't see it. It's not mapped out nice and neatly.
Right.
And I think we stay in our comfort zones because we know it. Like, we know when we wake up how our day is going to go. We know if we go to the same job, how it's going to be. We know if we're in our relationship, we know how it's going to be. Like, it's nothing new. It's nothing, but there's a comfort there. Even if for everyone who has like that pulling, like that, that pulling, that tugging, that's like, come on, there's more,
right,
there's better. you know, like that I want to give people the courage to let it pull them
right
to wherever it is that they really want to go. Because that's your heart pulling at you,
right,
or your soul.
yeah,
and it's scary.
yeah.
I get it, because you don't know, and you don't want to, but the thing is, your heart does know.
Right, it's
like
just your mind.
your heart is the most intelligent organ in your body, and it knows better than you do. So you just have to have the courage.
So how would you tell a person, so if a person asked, how do you know the difference? How do you know if it's your head or if it's your heart? Do you go by just what you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it can be confusing.
Mm-hmm.
So how
do you tell the difference?
How would you explain that to someone in being able to tell the difference?
Usually, like, if you just like if I just tell a person to just sit down, like just like Indian style on the floor, I tell them to close their eyes, and I say, if you could create your dream world, what would it look like? Your heart is gonna immediately start pouring out what that looks like. And it's usually your mind is usually the next thought that's like, well, you don't know. Like, when you start feeling that worry, when you start feeling that anxiety, when you start feeling that I don't know, that's your mind saying, okay, I get what your heart wants, but how are we going to pull that off?
Right.
How is that going to work? Like.
So it's almost kind of like your mind is trying to protect
Absolutely.
you from any disappointments or anything of that nature, but in reality,
if you're following your heart, you're not going to be disappointed.
You're not going to be, exactly.
Yeah, it's just scary. It's not wrong. It's just scary.
Right.
And I think that again, because our mind needs to know everything. Like, our mind is trying to protect us. That's why it's trying to keep us where it is that we want. But our mind is an outdated tool. Like, it's just like your mind is a tool. You need to use your mind to, like, we need to use our mind to assist with our heart. Instead, we use our mind to like talk us out of our heart, because like our heart's just being emotional. It's just tripping.
Right.
You don't know what it's talking about. It don't know. I know. Like,
right.
These are the steps. These are the tools. These are the 1 through 10 steps that we need to follow. You gotta stay on course. You gotta, and your heart's like, but I want to do this.
Right.
But your mind's like, how are we gonna do that? How are you gonna get over there?
So it's like when you say our mind is a tool, it's basically like a computer that needs software upgrade, almost.
Yeah.
In a way, because, it's like when you think about old ways of thinking and things that you've learned from childhood and, that kind of thing. I mean, it's easy for people to say, follow your heart and, reach for the stars and, don't give up on your dreams. I mean, it's easy to say that, but then when it comes down to actually doing it, that's where the anxiety kicks in.
Because you can't see it.
You can't see it.
And your mind can't see it. That's
right.
the thing. It's like a Polaroid. Like, you take a picture of it. It doesn't come out right away. So you have to shake it. It's because you can't see it, we don't trust it.
Right.
And it's like, if you just wait for the film to develop, like, you have to wait. It's like developing pictures in a dark room. You got to go in a dark room.
She's right.
It takes a level of faith.
Yeah.
And that's hard for people. That's very, very hard, because it's like, it's not a tangible thing. It's not a physical thing. You can't touch it. So we only trust what we can touch. We only trust what's there. So. But it's like, you gonna either fail at what it is you don't want or fail at what you do want. You might as well fail at what you did want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be like in my grave, my ghost looking over my body in a casket and be like, there's so much I wanted to do and I didn't do it. That's like my biggest fear. And because I mean, it's like, if you're gonna try, I might as well try in the direction of what it is that I want. Like, that's what I'm here. Like, you have a desire for a reason. It's in your heart for a reason. Like, you have a heart for a reason. Like, you have feelings for a reason. It's not, or else you wouldn't have them. You would, like, we would have just been created with a mind.
Right.
And then we just all be, you know, static robots. Just doing the status quo, doing what we gotta do. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you have a heart, you have dreams, you have desires for a reason. And, like, we all want to be fulfilled. Yeah. Like, that's all we want. That's all we daydream about, is just being fulfilled. And it just takes that leap of faith. And you can't see it. It's like, you gotta take the step in the dark anyway. Right. And trust that the next step will show up. And the next step show up. Like, it's like, it's a map. And there's a treasure. And your heart's gonna get you there. Mm-hmm. Use your mind to, like, you don't want to be stupid about stuff. Well, yeah. But, like, if it feels good and scary, like, it's a good thing. Yeah. Like, sometimes, like, what we want the most is on the other side of fear. Like, I hear a lot of people talk about that. Like, you know, like, Will Smith and, mm-hmm. you know, all these other, you know, very successful people. They're like, if something scares me, I have to attack it. I have to go after it. Right. If it scares me. You know what I mean? Like, fear is just your brain trying to protect yourself. It's just, you know, your mind perceives everything as danger if it's new, no matter what it is. It could be amazing and wonderful, but your brain still perceives this, oh, this is new, this is dangerous. Right. Don't, you know, exit, back away, you know.
Then too, though, if you think about it, there really is no such thing as failure.
No, absolutely not.
You can't fail. Like, you can learn.
Absolutely.
But you're not really failing, because what's that saying that who was it, the light bulb?
Thomas Edison?
When he made a statement, there's a famous saying that he says about, you know, I didn't talk about fail, how he didn't fail. Mm-hmm. He just learned.
He learned so many ways how to make a
Yeah, and you know, if we start to look at things from that perspective, I think that also makes it a little bit easier for you to go out there and do what it is that
absolutely
you truly want to do.
Like, there really isn't a wrong decision if you think about it. Right. Because even in a wrong decision, it taught you every choice that you make, honestly, is just bringing you closer to what it is that you want. Mm-hmm. Regardless if you go in that direction or not. But it's like, okay, you know, I chose this major in college, and I can tell if it doesn't feel good or not. It wasn't a mistake. It just gave me more clarity about what I do want. Right. If we listen to our feelings are a guide, they're a gauge. It's like it's an internal, like, thermometer, essentially, when we're hot, when we're getting cold, you know.
A compass, if you will.
A compass, yeah. And, you know, it's like our heart's like the North Star. They say, like follow the North Star or whatever. And so you really can't be scared of making decisions, because it's going to teach you something.
I mean, life is all about decisions. There's no way around it. Absolutely. You have to make a decision about something.
Absolutely. So, or else you're stagnant.
Exactly.
And
you're not living life.
You're not living life. So there's no such thing as a wrong decision. That's something that I want people to know. So I know it's something people struggle with, especially women. They struggle with making decisions because I don't think they really believe in themselves, so they don't trust themselves enough. Mm-hmm. But it's like, your heart's not going to fail you. Right. It's not designed to do that.
That's true.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to whatever you decide to call it.
Right.
I'm looking forward to it, because I think it's going to be very, very powerful. It's going to be something that people are not used to and need to hear. You know, then it gets you to step outside of the box and really take a look at yourself from a different, you know, a different perspective. So yeah. So when would you say that? Well, how long have you felt like that's something that you wanted to do?
It's a good question. Well, growing up, like, I think my whole life with any of my friends or anyone that I've talked to, I've always been like a good helper. Like, I've always been able to talk to whoever and like help them. I've always been told I'm a good listener and things like that. So I've always known I've been good at helping people. So I would say probably about 4 or 5 years ago is when I was like, okay, I want to start helping as many people as I can, because I feel like that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
And even us starting this process with me helping people, like, I was really just helping myself. Like, I didn't realize how much issues I had. Like, I had no clue how much issues and stuff that I had and what I was dealing with, and like me feeling like I was making mistakes and feeling like I was a selfish person, and like all of these things that I never thought I was like just popping up. So that's the funny part. You want to be able to improve the world as much as you can. And it's funny, it's kind of the only thing that I can see myself really doing. Like, I never saw myself just having a job, like, ever, even as a kid.
Right.
I never saw myself having a regular job.
Right.
I never saw that. It's not something I ever desired or wanted. That's probably why I struggled a lot in my 20s. Because I feel like whenever I would get set in a way with like life, like, I'm an adult now, like, this is my permanent job, or this is my permanent partner, this is how everything's gonna be, it's finna be my life for the next 40, 50 years. And I was like, time out. This isn't what my heart wants,
right.
You know? And again, and it's scary. It's super scary, so I get it. But so I know this is the only thing that I want to be doing with my life. Like, honestly, just creating as much as I can. Like, I love music, love clothes, I love all of those things. And it's just all I want to be doing. I don't want to be doing anything else.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. That's cool. Wow. You know, it's good that because there are a lot of people out there who don't know what they want to do. Or maybe they do know what they want to do, but think that it's not attainable, or think that, you know, it's just a fantasy or something like that. And you know, what you said was good, that, you know, you wouldn't be desiring it if it wasn't something that could actually be, you know, happen.
Possible, yeah.
Possible.
If you want it for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's...
And it's not fair, and it's torture to not give yourself what you want.
Yeah.
Like, that's the weird part. Like,
that's where the brain is like...
That's the frustrating part.
That's the frustrating part, because it's like, well...
Where it's like, why do we punish ourselves?
Right. Why? Right. It's like just...
It's self-punishment, it's self-torture, it's like you're going to self-destruct. Whether you realize it or not, you're going to self-destruct. Like, it's no other choice.
Sooner or later.
It's going to show up, it's going to show up as dysfunction in your life somehow.
And especially if there is something that you're meant to do in this world, and you try to put it on the back burner or try to forget about it, it's going to keep resurfacing in some form or fashion. It's gonna come back up somewhere, and you're gonna be like...
Ignored feelings just get louder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like what you resist will persist. So
Yeah.
the more you push it away,
the harder it's
the
gonna
harder
push right
it's
back.
gonna be. Yeah. So
It's like
stop fighting yourself, basically.
yeah. We're
Stop-
fighting. I don't
stop-
like let yourself be yourself.
Yeah.
Like who are you trying to be
Right.
besides yourself? Like
Right.
it doesn't make sense.
Right.
But for whatever reason, we think our minds like, no, you gotta be this way. You gotta look this way. Things gotta be like this. You gotta have this job. You gotta do this. You gotta be married by this time. You gotta have this amount of
Right.
kids. You gotta have this amount of money in the bank. You gotta da 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 da. And you just a miserable
Right. Because you don't have all those things, and then you're like,
because you don't have those things, and then you internalize, okay, what's wrong with me?
Right.
And it's like you're actually perfectly fine.
Mhm.
You're perfect the way that you are. If you would just go in the direction that feels good,
exactly.
and just again trust that the stars will line up for you
Mhm.
if you just like let them.
So it all boils down to, which I've heard you say
Mm-hmm.
throughout this conversation, is all about feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
What feels good to you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously you don't want to do something that doesn't feel good to you.
Right.
And you can't allow what.
You know what? Sorry, not to interrupt you, but like I think what we're doing is we're doing things, hoping that they'll make us feel good. Instead of actually doing something that makes us feel good. Like we feel like once we get this A, B, C, then things will be okay.
And then you get A, B, and
And you
C.
get A, B, and C, and it's like okay, D, E, F.
Right.
Once I get D, E, F, I'm like, so okay, that must be right. I'm gonna get G, H, and like, you know.
It's just we've been conditioned
Mm-hmm.
to think that that's how life is supposed to go. Go
Mhm.
to school, get education, go to college, get a good job,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
family, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody is not the same.
Not everybody's built like that.
Everybody is not built like that.
And you know if you aren't, because you'll feel the pulling. You
Right.
feel the pulling. And it's annoying feeling. It eats at you.
Mhm.
It's like you got a monkey on your back. And for me, I had to be like, okay, I gotta go in this direction. I have to follow my heart. I have to put everything out on the table. I have to wear my heart on my sleeve. I have to ask what I want. I have to put it all out there, because this is the only life that I have to live, and I might as well try to get everything is that I want. Like, why not? Why not?
And it's also important to know that it's never too late. It's never too late. Don't think that because you're of a certain age or, you know, whatever, that your time has passed. Because as long as you're here,
You always have time to.
you always have that desire is still within you.
Because it doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away no
Yeah.
matter how old you are.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important as well.
Like, God has a better plan than you do.
Right.
And if we just trust the universe, like, we can have, like, we thinking like this is what we got, this is gonna be good for us, and it's like the universe is like, well, actually I got this much for you.
Right.
If you would just listen to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's the crazy part.
Yeah.
Like, we fighting so hard for crumbs when it could be a feast on the
Feast,
other
right.
side of what it is, you know.
Exactly.
Like, we holding so hard to our crumbs. Like, no, I don't want to starve. I gotta hold on to my crumbs.
Right.
It's a hard world out there. And then and God's like, you know, I got all this food for you, right?
Right.
But you have fun with your crumbs. Like, that's the silly part.
That's very
Like,
very
that's what
true.
I want people to know. Like, you could be full and then some. You can have leftovers.
Right. Dessert too.
Des-
You want to.
You can have dessert. Like, life could be sweet
Yep.
if you just believe in yourself a little
Right.
bit.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard this that a lot of times when we find ourselves at like when an opportunity has presented itself for us to give advice to someone, we're basically also giving
To
ourselves
ourselves.
the same advice.
Absolutely.
Because we need to hear it as well. And I have recently started to, because there are certain people out there who would say that, like, well, let me ask you, you said you're a good listener. Would you say that people would come to you often for advice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you have people like that, but then you have those who aren't really that go-to person, but might find themselves giving advice to someone. And I'm starting to be more conscious now. Be like, okay, this happened for a reason. I'm giving you this advice, but I probably need to listen to it myself and take my own advice.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that. They give good advice, but don't take their own advice.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Probably because their mind isn't it's like, I don't have that fear. Like, I have that fear with myself, but I wouldn't have that fear with you. So it's easier for me to tell you to follow your heart. You know what I mean? Because there's no risk for me. There's nothing. You know what I mean? So it's I don't have to face my own fears by giving you advice.
So in a way, that's the universe's tricky way of trying to get you to listen to yourself in a way.
Every relationship in our lives is trying to teach us something. Like, every contact that we have with people, anytime we have a conversation, it's really trying to point at something within ourselves. And everything is a reflection. So if something is if something is like dysfunctional, if something seems toxic, if something seems triggering or like trapped, it's really because it's going on within you. And once you deal with that, everything else, that dysfunction will like fix itself, or you won't put up with it anymore. Like, if you're in a toxic work environment or something like that, once you sit with yourself and ask you, why is it making you feel this way, you sit in it, you dig in it, you feel like you get what it is that you need to learn out of that situation, it's going to be easy for you to walk away from that situation. You know what I mean? So like, even if a friend is coming to you with advice, that really is the universe bringing your own problem to you.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And nothing is a coincidence. Nothing happens. If things nothing randomly pops up.
Right.
As much as we think that it is, it's the universe like, hey, like, we need to talk about this. We need to deal with this. We need to, So that's something else that I want people to know. Because my non-relationships have taught me more than, than I ever could imagine about myself.
Right.
So, yeah.
Wow.
It's really about listening to yourself.
The universe is amazing. It really is. Because it will find all different kinds of ways to get
your attention. And the more you ignore it, the louder it's going to get.
Yeah.
Or it's just going to turn into dysfunction in your life somehow.
Right. Now, I'm sure there are cases where there might be people who don't even realize that that's what's happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wonder sometimes, with what you're doing, I think would really help those who don't even know what's going on to really stop and think, because you have people that maybe they're probably wondering, why does this keep happening to me? Why do I keep attracting the same person all the time? Why do I keep going through this type of situation over and over again? I thought I was doing good, and but they don't really understand how the universe really works.
And the law of attraction.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's something that I want to be able to point out to people, like, to look at their lives, to look at the patterns there, and look at what keeps showing up, and it may be just helping people connect the dots in their lives. And it's like you're gonna keep taking the same test if you keep failing. I mean, and life is a journey, so it's like you're always gonna be taking tests, I guess.
Well, yeah, that's
You're
true.
always gonna be learning something. There really isn't a finish line. I think that's something that I struggle with a lot because I'm always like, okay, where's the finish line? There really isn't one.
Not till you leave here.
Yeah, not to leave here. But yeah, I want people to pay attention to their lives, like really pay attention to their lives.
Yeah.
And see what it is that they're ignoring or what it is they need to be paying attention to, and things like that, because it's all for the greater good of themselves.
Right.
It's really your higher self trying to get your attention.
Right. Right.
I don't think people even know there's a higher self.
Yeah. There's like, we could use the example, there's the, you get two people sitting on your shoulder, on each side of your shoulder, and it's like your higher self is the one that's like, okay, look, we gotta, it's like, it's there to help you get to the place where to get you out of your mind, basically. It's there to help you get you out of your mind and into your heart. And of course, on the other side is the mind, telling your higher
like your
self,
your heart, your mind.
Your heart and your mind, your heart and your mind, and you're like, sometimes, like I said, for some people, it's very hard to decipher between the two. Like, how do I know which one's the mind?
Especially if you're not used to listening to your heart. But you know.
Yeah.
You know what your heart wants. You do. It's what you usually talk yourself out of.
That makes sense.
What are you talking yourself out of?
Right. That makes sense.
That's your heart.
That's your heart.
That's your heart.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's things that seem so simple, we just make so much more complicated.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
It's so much more complicated.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just imagine for a moment, like, if I just listened to my heart all the time, where would I be right now? You
That's scary.
Where would I be in my life right now if I just listened to my heart all the time?
Scary. That's, oof.
You would be living your best life ever.
That's scary to think about.
It is.
If we followed our heart
all the time,
we'd be living in paradise.
Pretty much.
We'd be living in paradise. That's scary. Jesus Christ.
I know, it's kind of hard to think about.
I'm shook.
It's very hard to think about because it's like, for some reason, we feel like there has to be struggle and there has to be, some type of work and pain and sweat and tears to get to where you're trying to get to. And what if that never had to happen? What if that just didn't?
What if life was smooth sailing?
It was smooth, and we're the only ones making
We're creating our own storm.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Society has made it so that you're not deserving of something until you've earned it. You've worked hard. Like, I've paid my dues. Now I get what I deserve or whatever. But if you didn't have to do that, what if it was just yours just because you deserved it? Because you want it.
What if you're allowed to want what you want and you're allowed to have it because you want it?
And you don't have to struggle to get it.
And you don't have to struggle to get it, yeah.
Imagine how
liberating that is. I feel like the only work you should ever be doing is working towards what it is that you want.
Exactly.
And again, if you're following your heart, it won't feel like work.
That is true. That is very, very true.
Because the saying, if they say if you do what you love every day, you never have to work.
You never have to work.
So it's true. Like, if you're following your heart, it's going to feel good. The journey's going to feel good.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. We spend our lives avoiding what we don't want.
Right.
Not pursuing what we do want.
Because that's not...
Because fear is the number one motivator. So when you're avoiding things, it's like
people want you to be in reality. If
you
will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but reality is what I make it.
Reality is you make it, yeah.
It's like,
My reality can be whatever I want.
Your reality sucks
Sucks
right
don't
now.
mean mine's gotta
Mine's
suck. Yeah.
or say, oh, but you're not being realistic. You're not being. I'm
What's
like,
realistic?
well, what's realistic?
Who made these imaginary rules?
Exactly. Who made that up?
Nobody got time for that.
All right. Well, it's been great. Until next time.